Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, yes, I'm still in beautiful Vice City, and this is another day where I'm out and about trying to record and do a video while we explore the beautiful area. Anyways, I've got my morning coffee here. I'll take you on with me throughout my entire day. So first up on the docket, we're talking about EA, and I'm in a botanical garden right now, so maybe we'll see a fluff, maybe we won't. But first things first, it turns out that EA CEO has an explanation as to why FC25 didn't do too well. And I'm very curious to see what this has to say. Now, I don't know about you, but my immediate thought was because the game wasn't that good and it seemed like a very low effort from EA. Well, anyways here, the CEO says something along similar lines. So according to the article over on BGC, and like everything we talk about, link is in the description below at the bottom. But according to the article, EAFC 25 failed to meet financial expectations because of a number of different things. So the two main contributing factors, one is soft top of funnel acquisition, which means a lower number of newcomers joining the series for the first time. And the second thing here, a lapsed engagement later in the quarter, with players losing interest in the game sooner rather than later. But wait, there's more. A third reason here is that more players decided to keep playing EAFC 24 instead of moving to EAFC 25. And on top of that, there seem to have been a lot of complaints with gameplay issues. So the CEO explains that there are a number of players who are unhappy with gameplay changes that were made, to the extent that the company had to take action by launching a gameplay refresh update, which did generate a bunch of positive engagement. Now, I don't know about you, but to me it just seems that year after year is a low effort release, and it's almost as if they're trying to release as little as possible, put in as little effort as possible, and hoping that people are going to continue to buy the games year after year. I mean, in general, those games sell pretty well. And I would say, based on my own experiences, the quality of these games have been, well, they've been dropping a little bit. You could disagree with me on that one, but I think a lot of people will be agreeing with me. So who knows here, maybe this will wake EA up and have them maybe put some more effort into their games and making sure that they're better upon release so that gamers are not upset with them and gamers are not, not buying them. This may hopefully generate some positive changes and therefore also generate some more sales for EA. But honestly, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below, and let me know if you feel that these games year after year start to feel a little bit like shovelware. That may be a hot take here, but that's just kind of how I feel about this stuff. We'll have to wait and see what all of you have to say. And before we get into the next segment, there are no fluffs here, but there are some creatures you may want to take a look at. So flip the camera over. We've got a whole bunch of turtles, we've got some fish, and I think there's more turtles over there. So if you're a fan of wildlife, if you're a fan of fish and turtles, well, hopefully this interests you. Next up here, this one's a real quick one, and it is in regards to the tariffs and all of that stuff. We'll keep things at a super high level here because this is a huge topic of debate and a huge can of worms. But based on the facts, it appears if you are importing anything from China, for example, a retro gaming handheld or something similar, there may be delays in receiving it. So this is a message right from USPS, and I think I should clarify this only applies if you are in the States. So they say here, international inbound mail and packages from China and Hong Kong posts. So the memo says, effective February 5th, 2025, the Postal Service will continue accepting all international inbound mail and packages from China and Hong Kong posts. The USPS and Customs and Border Protection are working closely together to implement an efficient collection mechanism for the new China tariffs to ensure least disruption to package delivery. So it seems there will be some sort of disruption. Next up here, I'm recording from my personal hell, the beach and the heat and also the sun. I mean, being a ginger, it's not necessarily the best place for me to be right now, especially at, I don't know, high noon. Anyways, here we're talking about a brand new NES emulator that has just dropped. So this one is called the NES Emulator. It's written in C and C++ using Pure Win API. If you are curious about this one, like everything we talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. And next is, well, it's Xbox 360 emulation, and something you'll want to pay attention to, especially with links. So from my understanding here, Xenia Canary has moved to a brand new repository on GitHub, and it's called Xenia Canary Releases. And this is more of just an FYI and heads up, and link will be in the description below in the event that you did want to check it out and check out, I guess, its new home. I'm assuming if this is the real location of Xenia Canary, then stuff like Xenia Manager will be updated to reflect that as well. And for those who may be unaware, Xenia Canary is an experimental version of Xenia. It may have some brand new features that Xenia doesn't have. It may be more compatible, and some things may be more broken. Next up here, we're talking about a brand new Game Boy Color game that may capture your attention if you're into stuff like Splunky or if you're into roguelikes. And it's called Cave Dave. So Cave Dave is available over on itch.io. The price is $1 or more. It's not very expensive. And they say here, Cave Dave is an action platformer in its purest form, armed with a limited supply of ropes and bombs and your wits and cunning. The aim is to plunder the 3 caves in each system to find Dave's beloved PSP, while avoiding the many enemy inhabitants which lurk in the darkness. Now, Cave Dave does work in an actual Game Boy Color. You can play it in your browser. You can also get it for the Analog Pocket or in an emulator here, like MGBA. Now, I haven't played this game yet, but I do plan on it. It looks like a lot of fun here, and the developer says no 2 games are ever the same. Let me know your thoughts about Cave Dave. Next up here, we're talking about a brand new game that has just hit Kickstarter. It's called Cronelas Mansion. Now, we've talked about this one in the past as they have released a demo here. And based on the Kickstarter, it seems like this might hit its goal. So there's 28 days left to go, and they're looking at getting $130,000. Or $129,734 to be precise. At the time of filming, they're just over about $50,000, so they're close to being 50% of the way there. And Cronelas Mansion is a point-and-click adventure. You can check out the demo to see if you're actually interested in the game. And this one is headed to a whole bunch of different systems. I'm not joking with you here. I mean, this one's headed to the NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, PC, and Nintendo Switch. That is pretty darn ambitious, but if they're able to achieve that, that's pretty impressive. Either way, here it is on Kickstarter, so there's always a risk with Kickstarter goals, but at the same time, they at least have a demo. Next up here, we're talking about Steam, and it seems as if Steam has rolled out a brand new feature here in regards to early access games. And I think it's one feature a lot of people will be excited about. It turns out that, well, if there's an early access game that hasn't been updated in a while, Steam will let you know before you spend money on it. Now, let me know your thoughts about that one in the comments below, but I think that's a very good thing. And this was spotted interestingly by SteamDB, who says they've got their own browser extension to let you know when the last time things were updated in the first place. And speaking about early access, last up here we're talking about Wreckfest. And it turns out that Wreckfest 2 is getting early access on March 20th, which is pretty darn soon. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this one, given the fact that Wreckfest is still pretty popular. And Wreckfest 2 will hopefully be better than the original. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Or maybe one fluff, just not the legendary one fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.